for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, we recording this show on Monday, and last Friday, SpaceX, their IPO went live.
Yeah, that's right.
And that went out. And byproduct of that, along with like 4,000 other employees that became millionaires worked for SpaceX. SpaceX been doing this for 24 years, so it's not like they're overnight, right? They've been doing all the stuff. They also
they even have a profitable business, right?
They have
with
a profit
Starlink.
with Starlink, yeah. And they transport 80% of all cargo to space is going through SpaceX right now. It's crazy.
Yep.
But
I actually want to, I know you've got a point, but I wanted to share something that kind of blew me away. This was probably 9 years ago. I was invited with a group of other podcasters to go visit NASA at Kennedy Space Center for a day.
That place. Yeah.
We were taken kind of behind the scenes, but not like where we had to get like top secret security clearance or anything.
Nice.
So, and we were toured through. It was a whole day event. It was fantastic. But one of the things that they said to me that it stuck with me because it really blew me away in the moment was they said, okay, well, that pad, that's SpaceX's pad, and that pad over there is Blue Origin's pad. And it was like, and they said the vision of this as a multi-use spaceport has been realized. Like when NASA built this, it was like the government was going to do the thing where it paves the way.
Get it going. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then the idea is that private industry would take over. And of course, even at that point in time, and of course, we did get to see the Artemis stuff there, which was cool, especially given what's happened recently, with all the moon stuff. And so it was, but like, this is an interest. This is how it's supposed to. It's how the internet was incubated, right? It's the same kind of thing. So anyway,
it's great, it's a good point. And a byproduct of the SpaceX IPOs that Elon Musk became on paper the first trillionaire, right?
Yes.
Not that he has that money and stuff, but because he's built equity in all these companies. Yeah. But some of the posts, I saw a post by some just some politician or whatever that said something to the effect of, Elon Musk becomes today became the first trillionaire. Let's make sure he's the last. And I thought that, I never post about politics, but that comment hit me so much that in such a negative way of thinking. And so when I reposted the comment, I actually added, I said, hey, this is really not a political post. It's a post about mindset. And if you want to have a great life and be in control of your own destiny and be accountable and live an uncommon life, don't think like this. Because despite what you may feel about, Elon and value and politics, that's separate. I didn't even mention it. However, almost all of the comments, there was a ton of likes. It got some very positive comments as well. But a lot of the comments were dragging back into, so they don't deserve it. It's not fair. Their politics, this kind of thing. And I kept reminding people, I said, no, my post is not about any of that. It's about mindset, and that you have a choice, and you can decide to have this mindset of the pie is ever growing, that it's not a zero, what do they call it? Zero sum.
It's not a zero-sum game.
It's not a zero-sum game. Just because someone's a trillionaire, billionaire, doesn't mean that doesn't take anything away from you. And matter of fact, I would argue the politician takes more away from you than somebody who's building businesses. Yeah, that's another show.
I saw another thing that predicted that by the time he, it leaves this mortal coil, Elon Musk will have paid over $1 trillion in taxes too.
Absolutely. I mentioned that as well because I got lots of that about doesn't pay taxes, this kind of thing. But I kept reminding people, hey, if you have this really scarce mindset, and I get concerned about a segment of our population that are taught constantly that there's not enough. It'll never be as good as it was. It'll be, and maybe this goes beyond a little bit of our business, frame here, but I don't think so. As entrepreneurs and business owners, of course you have to be an optimist, right? You'll never make it.
You can't think with a scarcity mindset.
You'll never make it. If you do that. And so I just was, I felt compelled to just continually remind everybody, look, it's abundance, man. You have to think our best years are ahead of us. Everything you want is possible. And if you want to become, I don't think, Elon didn't start to become a billionaire, to become a trillionaire. It is, secondary or maybe even way down the line to what he's tried to achieve. But even in the post, I was not, it wasn't the defense of Elon. It was a defense of optimism,
concept. Yeah.
And abundance.
And abundance.
Abundance.
No, that's the, I agree. It is difficult to help someone change their mind if they don't want to change their mind on this.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the right way to say it. Because it's not difficult to change someone's mind if you're out there and you realize that, oh my gosh, my mindset defaults to scarcity. You can fix that. In fact, it's very easy to fix that. You just
you have to
start thinking differently about things.
That's right.
And don't worry about. I know how easy it is to worry. My businesses have down years too. There's times when my employees individually and certainly collectively earn more than me. Like there's years where I choose not to take a salary or whatever just to build the business and like all those things. And like even in those years, in fact, especially
because of your optimism and your framework of abundance, that's what carries you through. Yes,
that's it. That's the fuel. I know it can be better. Do I have proof that it can be better? Only in retrospect, obviously.
Of course,
I can't, but I believe that it can be better, and that's the difference. That's what we're talking about here.
That's correct.